now we are doing the debrief for peer-to-peer.
Okay.
And you both had a chance to do peer-to-peer on Friday, right?
We did.
Okay, great. So what I did was I provided each of us an agenda
Okay.
so you know what we're going to be covering today. And it should take about, I would say 30 minutes or less to do the debrief. Now, I also gave you a copy of the Coach Activity Planning template as you two created, and then Rachel and I just went over a little bit of, there was just a little wordsmithing, nothing changed, but just wordsmithing to make the objective a little tighter and concise. So let's just briefly go over that. Leticia will review with Rachel the purpose and use of the ABC data sheet and the behavior data scatter plot, and practice data collection and discuss analyzing data using the forms by watching a video of a child exhibiting challenging behavior from TS Gold or several resources on July 18th, 2015. Does that look right to you? Okay, that's what you had talked about on last week. And then you chose to make the measurable outcomes of the activity, the peer-to-peer post-activity evaluation form. So you filled out the beginning of that form, and you'll see on the second page, and if you want to, you can mark that again since I've
Just highlighted where your answer was.
Mm-hmm.
Could I mark it again?
Oh, no, it is marked.
Yeah, we have it highlighted.
Mm-hmm. So now, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and based on the peer-to-peer that you and Rachel had, Power of Peers activity, would you please go ahead and finish the evaluation? So this would be the peer post-activity evaluation.
Okay.
And if you would do that right now, I would appreciate it. Well, somebody doesn't sound very happy outside.
Yeah.
I had a pencil and then I set it down.
Someone's having a hard day. Do I answer all till 7?
Yes, please. And take your time, no rush.
I was like, you just let your director Mary out there with a screaming child, but no pressure.
Yeah, you know, I was telling you that I was searching for my glasses and my keys this morning, and then I get to the rock slide and they're making me stop because it's a one-lane thing, and I've been reading this book. You know, it's one of many self-help books that I read.
I'm a self-help junkie too.
So this one's called Loving What Is. And so I'm sitting there at the stop sign waiting for my turn to drive, and I'm thinking, Okay, I'm loving this because it's giving me a chance to look around, see the wildflowers, look at the scenery. You know, I'm trying to change
And that
my way of
drive
thinking.
really has been super, super, super beautiful this year with all the
Oh, I
moisture.
know.
Those fields are so packed with wildflowers. That is a beautiful drive right now. I'm really enjoying that
I
drive.
love summer.
Okay.
All finished? Okay. I'm gonna take a look. Okay, oh, this is great because you started out with very limited knowledge on the skill before, and then so after Rachel's reviewing and discussing the purpose and then reviewing the forms and getting a chance to practice with the video, it looks like then for the learning objectives and activity content, you agreed with all of them. Now, I'm not sure about the format provided opportunities for me to practice applying the information. You marked 2 different ones.
Well, because I didn't really use them, but I kind of looked at them. So watching the video, I kind of did, but kind of not. So that's why I'm like in between the agree and disagree.
Okay. So, were you able to practice writing down any of the observations on the form?
I'll let her answer that.
Okay.
The writing, I was all Rachel, so she was just explaining to me what she was doing. So
Okay. So you were looking on as she
Yeah.
was writing it in. Okay. And and can you tell me just a little bit more of which of the skills, or I'm sorry, which of the following best describes the amount of skills you can immediately implement as a result of this activity? So you marked limited on that one. So what was your reasoning for marking limited?
well, I don't know if I can do it right away where I'm I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still it's still new.
Mm-hmm.
But it would need more practice and more a one-on-one hand thing where I can go, oh wait, well this is what I need to do. But just for me to start right away, it's it'd be hard. I'd be lost.
Yeah, that's understanding. That's understandable. What were some of the things that you felt were the best parts, or the best what's the word I'm looking for? What did you enjoy the most about the peer-to-peer?
I enjoyed that I was able to learn that it's not always oh, this kid does this because of this, but on how Miss Rachel taught me was that there's a schedule and just we fill them out and then just you do it times during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that would help me knowing some of the kids.
Yes.
But for me just to assume, well, this kid's doing this because it's normal, it's just them, but
Mm-hmm.
when you get really deep down into why,
Mm-hmm.
then it's so that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and you're so right. It's not a good thing to assume. You've got to collect the data first, and then you can start seeing some trends. And sometimes it's something completely different than an assumption might be. So that's good that you recognize that.
One of the things I found interesting with the scatter plot is that idea too of, especially if you're having difficulty with the child and you're feeling very frustrated by this constant behavior and you feel like you're not getting anywhere with it, it just feels like it's happening all the time. And it's always, they are just always doing this. But then when you really do that scatter plot, you might discover oh, she had no problems at all during story time.
Yeah.
And that might be the one time during the day that she doesn't do it, but what's happening in story that it's not happening that we can help make those kinds of things be at the other times of the day, you know?
Yeah,
What's the difference there that's not creating it? So even if it's just one place, but you discover it's not all the time like you think it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I love the way that you shared that, well, the question is, what have you learned that you will implement in the setting? And you said that you can use the sheets to help with any of the children in the center. It's not limiting at all. It can be used with any child. And I appreciate your comment about just needing more time to comprehend the objectives of them and how to, well, just all of it. You know, it takes a little practice and maybe more information. And Rachel, it looks like you did a really wonderful job with clearly explaining the objectives and helping to really overall meet the learning objectives. That you use supporting materials. So tell me about the videos. What were they like?
It was just too fast that, the good thing, like I told Rachel, it is good that you can go back and look again.
Rewind.
Like, in real life, I would have probably not caught any of what was happening. But the videos did help, just watching how things go well.
Well, tell me what happened. Like, what was the child doing?
One of them was, they were playing with toys in the classroom. And then the kid just goes up behind one of them and I think pokes him or something. And the kid did not give him attention, so the kid decided he was going to scratch or hit. So that's when he got the attention he wanted. But then the other kid that got the scratching or hitting actually responded and told him to I think stop or something. So the kid just walked away after that.
Yeah. And do you see how, since this was kind of a mini training, that you're not able to really collect all the data that you need to on these forms? In other words, you're not able to complete it enough to go on to the next step for analyzing. But I bet Rachel did a nice job in kind of discussing how that analyzing process takes place.
We did with just those two things. So yeah, we kind of worked together through the ABC data plot and then talked about how that would transfer to the scatter plot, knowing this is just one incidence outside, so this is how we would record it. And we also talked a little bit about, here we have this opportunity to go back to the video and catch all these little details and stuff. So if something's on video, you can get really detailed and say, this happens, that causes this, that then he responds this way, which caused this consequence, which then caused him to behave this way, which caused this consequence, was, which keeps wrapping around to the next antecedent. But then we also talked about, how many times we're rewinding to see, okay, what's happening? Okay, pause, let's write that down, and saying, in real life, what this would probably look like. Instead of all these details of this incident, it would probably be girl picks up a toy, he tries to grab it away and pushes at her, teacher removes him, gives girl toy. That would be it. It wouldn't be the he continues pulling, she continues pulling, he pushes her face, she falls down. We wouldn't have all those little details in there. Right. It would be this whole 5-minute thing in one instance. It would be, oh, we saw that she had this toy, he started grabbing it away and was pushing at her, the teacher came over, and in the end, the consequence was the girl got the toy, the boy was removed from the area. And so we're saying that probably would be really what that whole thing is. It wouldn't be this 5-step thing, but just this one broad view of what just happened.
Well, and I imagine Rachel did a really nice job just with the whole peer-to-peer as a whole. And you were a very good student. And I say student, it's really peer-to-peer, but you were learning something new, and she had a chance to share her new learning, so that's what's so nice about it. Did you have any questions about anything that came up during the peer-to-peer?
No.
Okay. And is there anything else you might like to do since the peer-to-peer? And that would be something that we could mark on the professional development plan for Rachel. And really this question is for both of you. Did anything come up during peer-to-peer that you wanted to add to the professional development plan? Or the implementation of the new skills?
Not specifically now, no.
Okay, so if we look at what we have so far on that, so Rachel would like to use these tools and resources for when she has, if she has any of these challenging behaviors as needed. And then you and I can talk about the next one. So,
Well, I've already obviously done that with Letty. That was part of what we did there. So then I would just be asking still May and Miss Eck
okay.
if they would be interested.
Right. So, so her idea was to see if you, May, Eck, are interested in seeing and learning the process that Rachel just followed to collect data on Adeline and to know what Rachel learned from that experience so far. So if you can't think of anything else that you want to add to that, we are finished. And then I just also wanted to mention that since this is the last activity of the third circuit, potentially I can be done when my reviewer then goes through and reviews all the latest videos and scores it. There's a possibility that there might be something I have to redo so that I can get it to fidelity. And you know, are you okay with that if that happens?
No, you have to start over soon.
And it may not be doing an entire activity. It may just be a part of the activity, just to make sure I get it to fidelity, and then that way, that's when they can say, okay, you are truly certified and ready to go out into the world and use this approach. And I will be using the approach in Center Head Start, starting very soon. So I'm really excited about that. So Letty, thank you for participating. And I brought you just a little thing. I don't know if I brought that one of those to you before, the little book. Oh, good. Okay. So, because I never given one to somebody, and then I thought, oh, I hope I'm not giving her the same thing that I gave, you know, so I fill your bucket kind of a thing. So
Thank you.
I just really appreciate it. Appreciate your help, and also Rachel's, and the support of this whole center, actually. So, all right, I hope you have a great day.
You too.
And I will see you next time.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Letty.